because sometimes it just feels like there's more bad news than good. And I feel like more than ever, we need to share the good news. And yeah, I submitted just like a small post on both of my platforms, and then I had stories coming in about families who had family members who were frontliners, who knew that the sacrifice of going to work meant it couldn't come home to their families, but they went anyway, not being able to come into contact with their kids. Other stories of delivery people using their extra tips to buy food for those that they see on the street. So these really small acts of kindness and generosity that I feel like is really pushing us to look at and see, you know, what can we give? Like what, in what position that we have, and maybe we only have a little. Maybe it's seemingly we have nothing, but I feel like so many people are rising to the occasion, and it's just a wonderful thing to see. And I feel like more than ever, we should share those stories.
Absolutely. Yeah, because, you know, you're right, because not all of us are able to raise funds. Not all of us are privileged enough to have money to give. And so you don't always have to have money to give. And that's an important point. It could be through your stories. It could be sharing the things that you have. But we don't want people to sit at home and say, I don't have money. I can't help. You know, yes, you can. You can help by, you know, being there for people, listening to their stories, sharing whatever it is that you have, but just making sure that you are respecting the rules of your country. You know, if they're telling you to stay home and find a way to help. But if you're one of those countries that do allow people to make deliveries, you don't have to have money. You can share half your rice, leave it on someone's doorstep, you know, keep the distance that you're supposed to keep. If you have old baby clothes that you have, that your baby can no longer wear, those are important essentials that people aren't able to go out and get right now. You can try helping out with those. You know, we can be this one community that we can be. It doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't always have to be
there's
about
even
money.
value in allowing people not to feel alone in the season. Like there's been teachers who are imploring their kids to make handmade cards that they email to patients that are recovering or are in the hospital, you know, simple things like that. And I think that's really wonderful too. Teachers guiding children through this part. But also on that note, like it also made me start thinking, because obviously we're on the conversation of poverty-stricken areas during this pandemic, but also the pandemic has had such an impact on education, children not being able to go to school. And so I would love to put the question out there to anyone who's watching, actually, because it's become a bit of a problem, especially here in Manila with the organizations that I work with in providing education. Not all communities have access to technological resources that they can use Google Classroom and different educational applications. So their education has essentially stopped. So I would love to throw the question to our watchers: what can we do for our kids that don't have the technology to continue their classes? And because it's also important, because as you know, and I'm sure you're passionate about too, education is one of the greatest equalizers of our society. And to think that there's maybe a whole generation that's going to have a gap.
There is. And I love that you posed this question, and I hope people do answer and give us options, because most people were speaking about homeschooling. And when I saw that, it touched my heart so much, because I thought about where I come from, and I thought about people's lives who never even got an opportunity to go to school. How are they going to homeschool when they themselves don't have that level of education to try and homeschool? So it's those people, you know, that we need to think about and to try and come up with ways in which we can help, because schools are on standstill. You know, people aren't going to school right now because of lockdown. How do we continue to educate these children? That's a very good point. So if you guys have answers for us, you know, let's engage. Let's
start a brainstorming session. Because I feel like
we can
communities are kind of left in the dark.
Yeah, and we can use the Universe United hashtag to do that, to come up with the suggestions, you know, send them to our DMs at Miss Universe, and we'll start sharing them with people, start looking at what the good ideas are, and you know, how we can help. Absolutely, I agree.
And I feel like it's so important for us too to kind of shift into that mindset of like how we can help, because we were chatting earlier this week, and I know that you were the same as me, feeling a little bit restless because we want to do so much. especially with the platforms that we have. I feel like with that comes an even bigger responsibility to really push yourself and be like, what can I do that's more? But also, I would love to empower people who are watching right now that letting your voices be heard is also a very valuable thing at this time, because now more than ever, now that we're isolated and we're mostly disconnected from the outer world in a way, except through social media, I really implore everyone to use social media to express your views, whether it be for leadership, whether it be for your country, whether it be for your social economic situation or what you're going through. I feel like our voices need to be heard because our leaders should be able to hear that too.
Yeah, I always say awareness is like one of the biggest steps, if not the first step, to social change. The more we use our voices to make awareness in light of situations, the better it is. Because I know in so many countries, my country as well, and I remember I was speaking to Julia as well from Brazil, and she was saying one of the biggest issues is people not really listening to the rules and taking seriously the messages about staying at home and washing your hands. And I think it hasn't really hit some people yet about the importance of this. And so if we can use our platforms to use our voices to educate and to say, listen, this is serious. We need to do A, B, and C to make sure that we're helping each other out. But like you said, also just human connections, emotions. It doesn't even have to be about constantly speaking about the virus. It can just be about showing people my daily life. You know, what am I doing? For me, I sing. I remember I sent a video out. I posted a video.
You have an amazing voice. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You too, girl. You know you do too. Okay. You know, I was sitting and I felt like I'm feeling so helpless, and music, like I said, it heals me. It makes me feel so much better. And I thought I should just share it with other people, share those messages as well, because it's those little things, you know, that help, that might touch someone in a way that you didn't know might touch them. So you know, it's just about being there, making human connections.
Exactly. It's all about connection, especially at a time like this, and sharing stories, like you said, because it's so easy to start seeing things from a statistical point of view when you see the numbers of the cases and stuff. It doesn't really feel personal until it happens to you or someone you know or someone you care about. And of course, we don't want it to get to that point when we finally sit up and pay attention when it's kind of too late, that we've lost someone or someone's ill because of this. So anyone who's watching, important. Make sure social distancing, whenever you go outside, staying at least a whole 1.5 meters apart. And this is to stop the spread of the cough molecules or anything if there is an affected person in your area. Second, washing your hands, even up to your elbows if you go out and you're buying food, with soap, any soap. Just make sure. Girl, we can nominate songs to sing while washing our hands. Let your inner
Let's do it. If we have to write a song about washing hands and staying home, then
you know it's like so happy birthdays.
Right. You said something so important that reminded me of something I was listening to, I think a few weeks ago. You said if something doesn't affect us, we tend to not listen to it. And I remember listening to a speech by Rihanna. Rihanna made this speech when she was getting an award, saying the world has such a huge problem of turning its eye away when things don't affect us directly or like personally. And she was just saying how that needs to change, because we form a part of a whole. And as much as I'm my individual self, I form a part of a whole. The decisions that I make impact the whole world. And so if something is happening to my neighbor or to my friend or to my sister or to the next country or some other different race, it concerns me. You know, it concerns me. It's my problem as well. And this is how we should be looking at you know, poverty as well as these disadvantaged communities. Even if you're not from there, you don't have to turn a blind eye in trying to help you know, those people. So yeah, we don't have to wait until something happens to us or to the people we love, and
Yeah.
start speaking out and using our voices and helping. So yeah, I just wanted to say I absolutely agree with your point. We really do.
Yeah, I
We need to
definitely
do.
agree. And I love that also the private sectors and individuals are stepping up and really trying to do what they can. But I think it's also important as concerned citizens to also let our leadership know what we want to see in regards of guiding us through this pandemic, because of course better solutions and innovative solutions will make a greater wave faster when partnered with the private sector also doing their part. And I feel like leaders now more than ever have the opportune time to learn from other leaders, because around the world there have been leaders that have really stepped up and really delivered great leadership amongst this pandemic, that I feel like so many other leaders can really be inspired from or can really take note of. And I just wanted to put that out there because we do want to do our part, but also we have leadership to be able to guide us through, and they're very, very important.
And we know that there's countries doing much better than others, but I don't know if we will name drop, but these countries know themselves. You know, listen, now is the time to put our heads together. Listen to our leaders. What are they doing right? What can we adapt as well from that? Because nothing is as important as leadership as well at this point, you know? So
It's very true.
I really am hoping that they're taking notes and listening to each other and seeing how we can all get out of you know, this crowd. But there's questions that came in from your fans, and I don't know if we should
shout out to everyone who's watching us right now also. Thank you for all tuning in.
Oh my guys, I know Kat and I have been talking for a while now, so I'll start taking in questions from you guys. I don't want you guys to feel excluded from the conversation, but I really do feel that we had to have this conversation. You know, we really had to have this conversation. But I'll say this, Kat, I'm really happy with how some things have turned out during this time. In as much as it is such an unfortunate situation, I've never seen people come together the way that they are coming together as we are. I mean, nations, just sitting together, trying to come up with solutions and showing each other love and kindness. And I said on another interview that I wish that this is something that we can continue with even after doing this, because poverty doesn't end because COVID-19 will end.
Yeah.
Humanity and humility shouldn't end because COVID-19 will come to an end. So if we can continue to keep doing the things that we're doing now to help our society, to try and bridge the gap between the disadvantaged and the advantaged, because there's such a huge gap. And if we continue doing the things that we're doing now, you know, slowly but surely we will bring in together the gap. And I saw this other post on Facebook that I loved so much. Someone said, when this ends, I hope we support local.
Yeah.
Support local business.
That's very
because
true.
now we need to start rebuilding our economies. We need to start rebuilding.
And what better way than to support our own?
Support our local people, your local businesses, small businesses.
Local farmers.
Farmers, you know, people selling vegetables and fruits. Buy from those people, you know, put money back into them. Make sure that our economy rises, but not just our economy, but our personal finances as well. So I just feel like when this happens, we need to hit the floor running in helping people. We need to rebuild, and it's time to start thinking about that now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we should rebuild and never forget, because I feel like why this time is so impactful for so many of us is it's made us realize just how interconnected we are. From not being able to go outside, not being able to go to work, to see your friends, to hug your loved ones, you know, it's made like, especially me, and I see so many people having the same realization. It's like, wow, what joy it is to be a human when you can be connected to another. And that's really where the value of relationship is. That's where value of being human is. And I hope that when we do rebuild, we keep that in mind. Just as you said, supporting local, buying local products, supporting local farmers, allowing our own countrymen to have flourishing livelihoods and giving them the education that they need to be able to stand on their feet. Because at the end of the day, handouts can only go so far, but we really need to give people a hand up so that they can stand up on their own.
Equip people with skills. I love that. So someone asked the question, and I feel like it has been answered in the previous thing that we were talking about. They said, what is the most important lesson from this pandemic, and how can we apply it after this?
I feel like this whole conversation.
I'm looking at it like this whole conversation just about how better we should do after this ends, and supporting each other and in holding each other's hands. I think that's the lesson that we've learned, that we are stronger together, that if we unite, we move so much more further. So I think that's the most lesson.
I feel like to summarize it in one saying, it's to play our part, which means that we do become involved, we do what we can, we put ourselves out there and help our fellow people, but also we listen to our leadership, we take the advice, we adhere to the community standards, whether it be lockdown or health advisories, we play our part. So yeah, definitely will be there.
Let's see, another question. They say, what is the one thing that you've cherished more in the middle of this pandemic?
It would really be family and just human connection. Because I mean, with my friends, we've been having like Zoom parties, and there's an app called House Party that you can like play games with each other. And I've had a handful of friends celebrate birthdays during this time. Some of them are alone in their houses, and so it kind of made me realize, like, wow, how enriching your life is when you do have human connection. That we do as Miss Universes. There is something so special about being able to interact with the people, with the children, being able to talk to people, to learn from them face to face. Of course, we're facilitating it through social media, but through human connection, there's a different impact there, and that's what I really miss.
Me too. You know, it's so funny for me because I always thought I was like such an introvert. So when this happened, I was like, I'll do okay. I'll be fine. I'm not being outside. I'll be fine. And then literally a week later, I'm like, I need people. I need to see people. But I'm just lucky enough to have Chesley as well. So at least there's the two of us in here. But it's hard. It's hard. Human connection is another one.
Definitely.
Someone has another question. They're saying, how's your young, focused family right now? And they're hoping that they're doing well.
Yes, they're doing really well. At the moment, 30 of them are volunteering at the No Work, No Rice campaign distribution and giving out the rice and everything. But they're only able to reach a certain area because of the quarantine restrictions. So what's actually happened is Young Focus has partnered up with other surrounding non-governmental organizations so that they can also access their areas. So they're doing really well. And it's so nice to see that it's not just that one organization. They're really partnering together, which is what we were just touching on before, is the most effective way to do good work is to do it together, and that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Can I do some shout outs? Hi, Mama E. I can see that you're watching and I miss you. And also, hi, Helena from Denmark. I see that you're watching also.
People are so excited. They've been waiting. I've been getting messages since last night, and they're just like,
yes,
we want to see you.
Hannah, I miss you.
Do you see Esther? Esther's in there commenting.
Yes, Mama E.
She's in there. She misses you.
I really hope that when this is all lifted and everything comes to a solution, that you'll be able to find yourself here in the Philippines. Would love to welcome you to my country.
Chastity says she loves and misses you. Did you see that? I saw that from Chastity.
I miss you.
She's watching.
And which is so funny too. Because when you were talking about the whole introverted self thing, I know Chess is an introvert as well as I am. Yeah. And I have the same sentiment. So I was like, yeah, I love staying at home. I hate going out. But now it's like, I just want to see the tree.
I want to see people. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Okay, no more. Is there more questions from here? Just people sending in love. Someone says
Thank
we
you
should please
everyone for
do
sending
it.
your love.
Someone says we should please do a duet, and yeah.
Yay! Let's make it happen on our next video.
What is Esther saying? I'm packing up Zosie and Chastity when this is over, and we're coming to Manila.
Yes!
That would be so amazing because everyone has been asking when I'm coming to the Philippines. And I'm
Yes!
like, I really, really want to. It was so unfortunate that this happened, but I would love, love, love to see the Philippines because the people are
Please.
just amazing.
Oh, we would have so much fun. Can't wait till it's happened because it's gonna happen. We're claiming it's gonna happen.
It's
Kaylee,
happen.
I miss you, baby sis.
Misha says, okay, Esther, I'm coming too. So it's going to be a full trip. Literally,
Yes.
everyone's coming to the Philippines. Okay. I love that. Okay, let's see if we can take one more question from here and then we can engage with people a little as well before we go on. I hate saying the words before we go. I want to chat
I know.
the whole time. Someone says, what was your favorite country to visit during your reign?
Ooh, I love South Africa. And I'm not saying it because you're from South Africa, but honestly, it was such a unique experience. My first time in Africa. And I was given the opportunity to judge Miss South Africa, and your production was phenomenal. Like the staging.
Amazing, right?
I was so impressed.
We had so much
Especially
fun.
your musical performers. You had a singer and also a duo, and they were just, like, honestly, world class. Like, I was so impressed. I felt like I was just watching the show.
I hope you can come see South Africa again. Even if not for work, just to literally come and have fun in South Africa.
Yeah, it was really special. I also was able to go on a safari, and I was able to join a LGBTQIA plus discussion at one of the campuses.
I saw that.
I forget how you say it. Wits campus, Wits University, something like that.
I went to Wits. Yeah, that was a good one. I did watch that. It was so amazing, and I'm so jealous that you actually went on a safari because I'm from South Africa and I've never been.
And you know, like, oh what?
Because here's what happens when things are, you never tour. Like, you never
tour
your own country or enjoy it,
it's
you
true.
know? But I'll definitely have to go on a safari. I have to. Or maybe I'll go with you when you visit South Africa and maybe I'll be there.
Please. Oh, I hope that Miss Universe will be held in South Africa. And I will be please.
Oh, girl, crossing my fingers, man. That would be so amazing. We're getting love from Brazil.
Bom dia. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Brazil.
I love it when they say that. That's Brazil. I think this is a good one. Someone wants to know, how do we stay motivated during this uncertain time?
Ooh, motivated. I think really what's helped me personally is, one, I need to have a shower in the morning and dress up in like normal casual clothes and not spend my whole day in pajamas, although I'm not going anywhere. But it just helps me change my mindset to, okay, I'm going to be productive because I dressed up for myself to be productive. And then what I try and do is I just try and make a very simple structured schedule for myself. So I'm going to dedicate an hour to this, 30 minutes to this, 40 minutes to this, so that I also feel achieved at the end of the day when I can tell myself, oh, I've done this, because I'm sure you can completely relate. Like, during this time, the hours just fade together.
You don't even know day from night. I usually say, like, simple things like opening your window blinds literally will make you feel so much better. I know that when I wake up in the morning and my blinds are down, I just feel so down, like on the inside. And the minute you have lights coming into your room, it makes you feel so much better. So you're right, get out of bed. Don't stay in bed the whole day. It will keep you motivated to actually start doing something. Chat with people. Don't distance yourself emotionally from people as well, just because keep their emotions alive is what I would say.
It's very important. Like, I cannot emphasize the point you just said enough, to keep in touch with your friends or your family or just other people through social media, whether it be just in a video call, just to catch up with them, to check in on them, because it honestly, even if you don't realize it, realize it, it honestly like impacts your mental health so much, and feeling connected and not feeling isolated at this time, because I've found that in my personal experience, when I feel isolated, it's the most dangerous time, because that's when feelings of anxiety can easily creep in. That's when feelings of negativity can easily come in. So surrounding yourself with human connection, even though we're not physically together, doesn't mean we can't come together in some way.
Yeah. And if you're with someone or you live with someone, for instance, I have a roommate, you know, Chesley. Yesterday I was like, Chesley, can we just watch a movie like normal people in normal times? And we had popcorn,
Yes.
and we watched
Or cook
Crazy
together.
Rich Asians, and we were just laughing and having a nice time, because it's like sometimes you need to just try forgetting about what's up there. Like do normal things that you
Yeah.
used to do, like, you know, watch movies and play board games and just have fun
Yes.
with people.
It's very true. Like, also with keeping motivated, it's also important to be kind to yourself. And like, if you don't feel capable in that moment of pushing yourself to work, like, forgive yourself, because these are extraordinary circumstances. And comes a point too where you need to be kind, and kind of understand yourself. Like, how am I feeling today? Do I feel like I can't really dedicate myself to this task? Don't force yourself to be productive if your emotional state isn't there. Because I feel like, even me, like, I'm one of those people, I feel guilty if I'm not productive sometimes.
You're like, I'm
Like,
supposed to be doing something.
but there are days when it's just called for, because I just need to, you know, create, because creating makes me happy, just like you were talking about music earlier. Like, it's very healing for me. So to anyone who's watching out there, if you just want to create something, to paint, to draw, to make music, to play an instrument, you don't have any of those things, reading, there's really something for everyone, depending on your individual circumstance. But just be kind to yourself, understand yourself.
I love that. Connect yourself to the things that you love. Still love
Yeah.
the things that you love. Go back to them and connect yourself. There's so many more comments coming in. I love everyone's like, they love
Thank
you,
you,
Queen.
everyone.
Let's see. Best Miss Universes ever, someone said. Thank you.
Thank
I think
you.
MEO has done so amazing in choosing the most amazing delegates. You know, every year they try. We've had a
And that's
bunch
what I
of
love
amazing.
about Miss Universe Sisterhood. It's not even just the circle of winners. It's more of every woman that competes every year, and being like a global representative. At times like this, like, you all come together in a way. Like, just like you were talking to Miss Brazil, and really like touching base with what's happening around the world through these girls that you've met personally, that you've made personal connections with. I think that's the magic and the sisterhood
It's a
of Miss
sisterhood.
Universe.
It's a very beautiful one. Do you guys still have your group happening on WhatsApp from your year?
I think so. The thing is, I've changed numbers, so it's like on a phone that I hardly open, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. I'm terrible, as you can see, but I'm pretty sure it's still there.
That is very understandable. Chesley actually had to add me on my other new phone on the old group, so that people lose phones all the time. But
Because we changed numbers.
Yeah, people lose phones, but connections are always there that you make with sisters, and I think it's just beautiful. We'll be taking a few more questions, and yeah, but what messages do you have for us, Kat? Like, do you have anything that you would like to, I don't know, maybe leave us with? People always love them.
I would love to just, you know, really take this time to connect to everyone that's watching. One, thank you so much for spending your time engaging with me and Zazie. We super appreciate being able to share our messages and stories with you. We hope that you feel empowered, or just have a little bit of joy in your day or night, wherever you are in the world. And also, conversation doesn't need to start here, everyone. Engage us on our platforms, either in the comment section, or even the topics that we raised today. Raise them with your friends, with your social circles. If you have any suggestions of what's happening in your country, if you want to help and you just don't know how. put it out there. Ask other people in your area what you can do to help. It can be as simple as buying your vegetables from a local farmer, or it can be as simple as, you know, sending a nice card. I know there's a lot of incentives in sending beautiful messages to the patients within the hospital. It could be as simple as that. It doesn't need to be a monetary value, but if you do have money to spare, please do reach out to an outreach program. A lot of people are in need of food and personal protective equipment, especially for the frontliners. What else? Educational resources in the form of books or stationery. Maybe some children in your area don't have access to those things, being away from school. What else? Yeah, just and medical supplies. There's a lot of people who may not be facing COVID, but have other pre-existing medical conditions and aren't being able to have access to the treatment that they need. So I just implore you, in any which way that you can, don't wait for someone else to rescue another person. Take it upon yourselves at this time to be the rescuer, because you can. In your own small way, you really, really can. Definitely. And with that, also, let's listen to our health authorities. Let us take heed of the health advice that we've been given in regards to social distancing, proper hygiene, like washing our hands and covering our face if that's implemented in your region, knowing that reusable masks and disposable masks are different. Educate yourself on how to use them properly to stop contamination. When you go out, just be respectful to all the frontliners that you may come across, or in your own way, show your gratitude to them, especially medical staff. They are, you know, working endless hours, mental and emotional exhaustion. There's a lot of initiatives rather, in different countries where people are applauding them. They're sending beautiful messages over social media. Please keep it going. Don't let it just be a trend, because they're out there every day away from their families, putting their life and their time on the line really for the rest of us. And they are our modern day heroes, and they deserve the recognition all throughout this. And I hope that we will never forget their sacrifice and the work that they've done. And lastly, in taking heed on what our leadership is saying, let's also let our voices be heard. Let's demand that we are guided through this pandemic in the best way possible, with innovative solutions, effective solutions, that we get the aid that we need as fast as we can, especially demanding attention for those areas that may be ignored or being pushed to the side, or just may not be known already, those vulnerable communities. They need us now more than ever. So let us demand that of our leadership, and always let our voices be heard, because as concerned citizens, it's our responsibility to demand that we have the right leadership, but we also listen to our leadership at the same time. Let's all play our part.
I love everything that you've just said, and I hope people are listening, and that they take it to heart, and that they really know that we all play such important roles in the world. And so as much as you think you're just doing it for yourself, what you do plays such a huge impact on the whole world. So thank you so much for, you know, your kind words of encouragement, and for always speaking the truth as well. Because, you know, honesty is such an important thing, you know, being able to call out leaders and saying, you know, we can do better. I know we're doing this, but we can always do better. So thank you for that. And I just want to sit here and chat to you all day, but just to make everyone jealous, I can speak to Kat. Okay, I have her phone numbers on WhatsApp. I'll speak to her when we're done here. So
yeah.
But thank you so much. Oh, someone is saying thank you, Kat and MU, for this moment. Yeah, this was such an amazing moment. It's so nice to always have people come back and share their stories and use our platforms to the best of our abilities. Oh,
yeah.
that's so cute. Someone wants to see your puppy. They're like, where's that cute
puppy? I put
him
in the other room because I didn't want him to be fussing about.
I'm sorry. I also want to
see on my social media instead, guys.
So sorry, guys. Next time You're gonna have to store
Yes. But
cats
Sophie,
instead.
in the future, please do share with us also how we can also assist your initiatives in South Africa in any way, whether it be in getting the message out there or in other ways that we can help. Let us know. Would love to be able to collaborate also with you.
Thank
It's a
you. Thank you
sisterhood.
so much. Thank you for lending your hand. I will definitely grab it and use it.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching as well, so that they can also know how they can help. Maybe your fellow South Africans also, how they can lend a hand. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, just also hopefully the whole world, the whole universe comes through with information from their own countries as well, because we're trying to help out as many people as we possibly can.
Yes.
This was so amazing. I want to stay here
Thank you so much.
I feel like we've said all that we wanted to say, and people will always find us on our own individual Instagram pages and on the Miss Universe Instagram page as well. If you want to catch up on what we're doing, you know, the influence that Kat still has is amazing, and the work that you still do is absolutely amazing. Because you don't have to. You didn't have to. You could have just been sitting at home and worrying about yourself, but you thought of other people and how you can help them. So I think that is incredible. And,
thank you. And I also want to take this time to honor you also, because you're in such an extraordinary position, considering I'm sure when you won and in your first couple of months, you had such a different projected outlook on what your year would look like, but you've taken this unexpected turn of events into your stride, and you're using your platform to connect with really important people and get a message out there. So I just want to, you know, acknowledge that too, because you are a Miss Universe for the time that we need. Like, especially with us all needing that encouragement, with all needing to feel that we're seen as a Miss Universe that talks to so many different countries and so many different divisions of people. You're really bringing people together, and I hope that you continue the work, and I know you will, and I'll be watching. And I hope that we can have another one of these chats and we'll give the duet that everyone's asking for.
Hopefully one day. Oh, thank you so much. Don't almost made me cry, but not crying today. Thank you so much, Kat. I appreciate you. I really. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in with us. Thank you for being awesome. We love you guys. Again, if you want to take the initiative and use the comment section of the Miss Universe page to share maybe things that are ongoing in your community, things that you are looking for help with, or if you're looking to help, maybe you can use that area for an area of discussion. Get connected with each other in your nation.
Absolutely. Oh, I almost forgot that we're not on the Miss Universe page. I was about to say thank you, and then we're actually on your.
That's true.
I'm like, this is not my life.
But I'm the one that's meant to end it.
Please save it to your stories so that people can be able to see it even after. Thank you. Also, when
yes,
we end
I will.
Can you screenshot page so that we see people that join us. Thank you so much. I'm gonna leave your page now. Love you, Kat.
All right. Bye. I love you. Take care. Oh, that was so wonderful. Thank you, everyone who was here chatting with us. Really appreciate your inputs. I'm sending you all a big virtual hug, a lot of positivity, and we will get through this, you guys. We will get through it, and we will get through it together. Sending you lots of love from my corner of the universe to yours.